What is up, everybody? Caesar Madrazo here, and today we're looking at a game that I think is a horror game. It's Doki Doki Literature Club, you can see right here. And from what little bit I know about this game, it's supposed to be like a psychological horror game, sort of disguised as like an anime dating sim, which sounds pretty cool to me, so I'm really looking forward to it. Before we begin, I will address a few elephants in the room. You probably noticed that my video quality is a lot better, and that my audio quality is a little bit better. That's because I recently got some pretty major improvements to my setup. Better computer obviously means better video quality, more computing power, and better audio quality. I got better headphones, which means that I can control the audio a lot better. But I think that one thing I should point out is that if my voice sounds a little strange, it's because, as luck would have it, as soon as I got my new audio equipment, I came down with a sickness, so my throat and nose are actually hurting a little bit right now, so if I'm pausing a little bit, then I'll probably just cut it out, but just bear with me. And as far as the better video quality goes, I can now record, you can see my webcam and the screen at the same time if I just transition here. And I have to move over. There we go. But, yeah, you can see I can record both now, and the video is a lot more fluid than it was with my other computer. But, of course, as luck would have it, as soon as I got my new video improvements and I can record my face now, I got this huge freaking blemish on my face. So, we're off to a great start. Anyway, this will get even better than it already is than my other videos, I promise, but I'm delaying too much, so let's just go ahead and get right into the game, shall we? Doki Doki Literature Club, we're going to start a new game. Please enter your name. Alright. Caesar. And let's begin. Alright. Hey! I see an annoying girl running towards me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl is Sayori, my neighbor and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you would never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let Sayori catch up to me. Alright, I would give her a voice, but, you know, throat. Ha! Ha! I overslept again. But I caught you this time. Maybe, but that's only because I decided to stop and wait for you. Eh! You say that like you were thinking about ignoring me. That's mean, Caesar. Well, if people stare at you for acting weird, then I don't want them to think we're a couple or something. Fine, fine. But you did wait for me after all. I guess you don't have it in you to be mean even if you want to. Whatever you say, Sayori. Hehe. We cross the street together and make our way to school. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute. By the way, Caesar, have you decided on a club to join yet? A club? I told you already, I'm not interested in joining any clubs. I haven't been looking either. Eh? That's not true. You told me you would join a club this year. Did I? I'm sure it's possible that I did in one of our many conversations where I dismissively go along with whatever she's going on about. Wow, so it sounds like we don't like Sayori very much. Sayori likes to worry a little too much about me when I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. Uh-huh. I was talking about how I'm worried that you won't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. Your happiness is really important to me, you know, and I know you're happy now, but I die at the thought of you becoming a NEET in a few years because you're not used to the real world. What's a NEET? Hold on, I'm gonna look that up. Now let's get NEET meaning. NEET. It's a British noun. It says, a young person who is no longer in the education system and who is not working or being trained for work. Okay, so it's just a jobless adult. Okay. You trust me, right? Don't make me keep worrying about you. Alright, alright. I'll look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. No promises, though. Will you at least promise me you'll try a little? Yeah, I guess I can promise you that. Yay! Why do I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl? More than that, I'm surprised I even let myself relent to her. I guess seeing her worry so much about me makes me want to ease her mind at least a little bit, even if she does exaggerate everything inside of her head. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. Excuse me. Sayori wants me to check out some clubs. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Hello? Sayori? Sayori must have come into the classroom while I was spacing out. I look around and realize that I'm the only one left in the classroom. I thought I'd catch you coming out of the classroom, but I saw you just sitting here and spacing out, so I came in. Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed. You don't need to wait up for me if it's going to make you late to your own club. Well, I thought you might need some encouragement, so I thought, you know what? Well, that you could come join my club. Sayori. Yeah? There's no way I'm going to your club. Wow. So we're just a jerk to Sayori. Meanie. Yeah, exactly. Like, we're kind of a douchebag. Sayori is vice president of the literature club. Not that I was ever aware that she had any interest in literature. By the way, what is this pose that Sayori is doing? It looks like she's, like, smiling a little bit, but, like, she's... Like, what is that? I've never seen anybody do that. Like, what is... I'm trying to think of any scenario where this pose would be remotely appropriate. In fact, I'm 99% sure she only did it because she thought it would be fun to help start a new club. As soon as she finished... Try again. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title Vice President. That said, my interest in literature is guaranteed to be even less. Yeah, I'm going to the anime club. Why the hell would I go to the anime club? I mean, if you're going to join a club, then join... I don't know, like... I don't know, I didn't do any clubs in high school, so... Or, I mean, not... I was part of the Spanish club for 1 year. But, I mean, I didn't really participate much. I don't know. I would go to, like, a foreign language club or something like that. Come on, please. Why do you care so much anyway? Well... I kind of told the club yesterday I would bring in a new member... And Natsuki made cupcakes and everything. Hehe. Don't make promises you can't keep. I can't tell if Sayori is really that much of an airhead or if she's so cunning as to have planned all this out. Alright, so Sayori, might be one of those girls that's smarter than she pretends to be. Okay. I let out a long sigh. Fine, I'll stop by for a cupcake, okay? Yes! Let's go! And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul for a cupcake. Sold my soul? Is that foreshadowing? Is Sayori, like, sacrificing me to the devil or something? I dejectedly follow Sayori across the school and up the stairs, a section of the school I rarely visit, being generally used for third-year classes and activities. Sayori, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. Everyone, the new member is here! I told you, don't call me a new member. Eh? I glance around the room. Welcome to the Literature Club. It's a pleasure meeting you. Sayori always says nice things about you. Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Ah, Caesar, what a nice surprise. Welcome to the club. All words escape me in this moment. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. What are you looking at? I actually was not looking at you at all. If you're gonna say something, say it. Sorry. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is the one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes me think she's probably a first year. She is also the one who made cupcakes, according to Sayori. You can just ignore her when she gets moody. Sayori says that quietly into my ear, then turns back towards the other girls. Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy, and this is Yuri, the smartest in the club. Don't say things like that. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, she looks more mature, alright, appears to have a hard time keeping up with people like Sayori and Natsuki. Ah, well, it's nice to meet both of you. And it sounds like you already know Monica, is that right? That's right. It's great to see you again, Caesar. Monica smiles sweetly, and... and does one of the most anime poses I think I've ever seen. Which again, like the Sayori thing earlier, like, there is no real-life situation in which this pose is appropriate. She's, like, doing some sort of weird, like, backstretch. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Monica was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically completely out of my league. Okay, so... she's like the, so... she's, it sounds like she's the one that you want to go after. Like, she's the end goal, maybe? So, having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... You too, Monica. Come sit down, Caesar. We made room for you at the table, so you can sit next to me or Monica. I'll get the cupcakes. Hey, I made them! I'll get them! Sorry, I got a little too excited. Then how about I make some tea as well? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. As Sayori mentioned, it's been widened so that there is one space next to Monica and one space next to Sayori. Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner of the room where Natsuki grabs a wrapped tray and Yuri opens the closet. Excuse me. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Sayori. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, here you are. Are you ready? Ta-da! Ooh! Natsuki lifts the foil off the tray to reveal a dozen white, fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. The whiskers are drawn with icing, and little pieces of chocolate were used to make the ears. So cute! I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki. Well, you know, just hurry and take one. Sayori grabs one first, then Monica. I follow. It's delicious! Sayori talks with her mouth full and already has managed to get icing on her face. I turn the cupcake around in my fingers, looking for the best angle to take a bite. Ah, yes. The best angle to take a bite. I'm not sure which angle to take a bite of my cupcake from. Natsuki is quiet. I can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. I wonder if she made it herself. This is really good. Thank you, Natsuki. Why are you thanking me? It's not like I... Haven't I heard this somewhere before? Made them for you or anything. Eh? Well, I thought you technically did. Sayori said, well, maybe, but not for you, you, dummy. Alright. Okay, so Natsuki is like the tsundere girl. Okay, I give up on Natsuki's weird logic and dismiss the conversation. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not... Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that... You know. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Monica raises an eyebrow, then smiles at me. Uh-oh. Is Monica getting a little jealous of the early action? So what made you consider the literature club? I was afraid of this question. Something tells me I shouldn't tell Monica that I was practically dragged here by Sayori. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayori seemed really happy here, so that's okay, don't be embarrassed. We'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it is my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. Monica, I'm surprised. How come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member for any of the major clubs. Weren't you a leader of the debate club last year? Haha, well, you know, let me just do my back stretches again. To be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. And if it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Monica really is a great leader. Yuri also nods in agreement. Then I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting all out... I cannot read, I'm sorry. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort into start something brand new. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But, God, Monica, you talk so much! But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club. before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah! We'll do our best. You know it! Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why they were all so delighted by the idea of a new member joining. Though, I still don't know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. So, Caesar, what kind of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga? I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wanted to say something, but she keeps quiet. Alright, so I guess Natsuki's into Monica. Or into Monica. Well, maybe she's into Monica, I don't know. Natsuki's into manga, sorry. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. Ah, Miss Sophisticated. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me, and telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. Ah, I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. Yep. Really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. For someone as gentle as you? I guess you could say that. But if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, even if only for a brief moment. Ah! I hate horror. Oh? Why's that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called Don't Say It Out Loud! And give that back! Fine, fine. Heh, your cupcakes, your poems, everything you do is just as cute as you are. Sayori sidles up behind Natsuki and puts her hands on her shoulders. I'm not cute! Natsuki, you write your own poems? Eh? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No! Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Ah, not a very confident writer yet? I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for Yuri. Aw, I wanted to read everyone's poems. We all sit in silence for a moment. Okay! Monica must have a terrible back. She just has to keep doing those back stretches. I have an idea, everyone. Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monica. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then, next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. Yeah! Let's do it. Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it will help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, Caesar? Monica smiles warmly at me once again. Hold on, there's still one problem. Huh? What's that? Now that we're back to the original topic of me joining the club, I bluntly come forward with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Sayori might have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and, I lose my train of thought. All four girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. But, I'm sorry, I thought, Caesar, you all... I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? That is, if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls... Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. One by one? It looked like they all lit up at once. Yes, I'm so happy! Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey! You really did scare me for a moment. If you really just came for the cupcakes, I would be super pissed. Then that makes it official. Welcome to the literature club. Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone, with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monica looks over at me once more. Caesar, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Monica, what happened to your back? Jeez, you're like having to stretch that thing out every 30 seconds. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food. Hey Caesar, since we're already here, do you want to walk home together? That's right, Sayori and I never walk home together anymore because she's always stayed after school for clubs. Sure, might as well. Yay! With that, the two of us depart the club and make our way back home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the four girls. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monica. Man, the game seems to really want us to go after Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright. I just need to make the most of my circumstance, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. Alright, so the setup here is that basically the only reason we're in this club is that we want to get with one of the girls, which is typical of a dating sim. I'm just waiting for the twist, you know, I'm waiting for the horror to show up. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. It's time to write a poem. Pick words you think your favorite club member will like. Something good might happen with whoever likes your poem the most. Alright. Okay, so... Monica's not there. Sayori, Natsuki, and Yuri. Well, you know what? I guess we can save here. In return. Who are we gonna go for? You know, like, let's go for Yuri. Because I think she would like bigger words, like high vocabulary. So, alright. Incapable. Okay, so they jump. They jump if you got their word. Okay, so... She likes horror, she likes bigger words, so graveyard. Unrequited. That was Sayori? Alright. Unending? Okay. Uncanny. Incongruent. Frightening. Melancholy. Starscape. Entropy. Disoriented. Universe. Massacre. Meager. Determination. Got a little Undertale reference in there. Judgment. Heaven sent. Infallible. Tenacious. And... electricity. There we go. Hi again, Caesar. Back still hasn't recovered, Monica? Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Ha ha ha. I don't know why I made her laugh like Tommy was so. Ha 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 ha. Good to see you again, Caesar. Welcome back to the Literature Club. Ha 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 ha. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the Literature Club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, Caesar. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it? Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. Sayori told me you didn't even want to join any clubs this year. And last year, too. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Well, I mean, I got those two mixed up earlier, so understandable. Manga is literature! Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. Don't worry, guys, Caesar always gives it his best as long as he's having fun. He helps me with busy work without me even asking, like cooking, cleaning my room. How dependable. Sayori, that's because your room is so messy it's distracting, and you almost set your house on fire once. Is that so? Hehehe. You two are really good friends, aren't you? I might be a little jealous. How come? You and Caesar can become good friends too. Sayori. As usual, Sayori seems oblivious to the weird situation she just put me into. How is this a weird situation? She's just saying, hey, you know, you two should hang out. Like, there's nothing weird about that. Oh, Yuri even brought you something today, you know? Wait, Sayori. Huh? Me? Not really. Don't be shy. It's really nothing. What is it? Never mind. Sayori made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. What do I do? Alright, so Yuri's the really shy one. So, yeah, Yuri, really shy, really smart, likes horror, likes books. See, I gotta remember these things, because she's the one that we're gonna go after. I'm sorry, Yuri, I wasn't thinking. I guess that means it's up to me to rescue the situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place, so any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise. It'll make me happy no matter what. Is that so? Yeah, I won't make it a big deal if you don't want it to be. Alright, well here. Alright, so this is the classic thing that you see in these kinds of, you know, dating sim games where the girl, whichever one you pick, they have something that, you know, they're insecure about or nervous about, and it's something that most people over the age of 10 don't really get insecure about, like giving somebody a gift or something like that. That's not really something that people are ashamed of, unless it's a very, you know, unique situation. And always the protagonist, the player in these games, they're always the one that you know, reassures them, saying, hey, you know, it's not that big of a deal. But, you know, these little conundrums, like, as I said, if you're above the age of 10, you probably already know all of the things that the protagonist is going to say. Just like, yeah, you're giving me something. That's not a big deal to anybody who has a mental maturity of, you know, a preteen or higher. Anyway, Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I don't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you want. Ooh, is she asking for a date already? How is this girl accidentally being so cute? I wouldn't say cute's the right word. She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you, I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Whew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monika to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Sayori and Monika are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Excuse me. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a bit more, but at the same time I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. The music changed. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in the book. Sorry. I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh. It's fine. If I wasn't focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed it in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Nah, it's a pretty obvious reason. Just curious, how come you have two copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy two of them. I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me. Yep, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's it about, anyway? Well, Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Alright, I just wanted to make sure I don't accidentally give anything away. Basically, it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister, but as soon as she does so, her life gets really strange. She gets targeted by these people who escaped from a human experimentation prison, and while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships, and her life starts to fall apart. That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yeah. Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came out of nowhere. I sense a little bit of foreshadowing. Yuri gently giggles all of a sudden. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Caesar? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that those kinds of stories, they challenge you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen not just because someone wants to be evil, but because they have their own goals and their own philosophy that they believe in, then suddenly, when you thought you related to the protagonist, they're made out to be the naive one for letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people, so I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. Again, just things that if you're over the age of 10, then you already know. It's a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? You don't have to. Ha ha ha, what are you saying? Just a moment ago you said you were looking forward to it. So now Yuri being the shy girl, I'm like, the player is like the confident one saying, what are you so worried about? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieve the book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Yeah, Yuri, just tell me if you're distracted by my overwhelming masculine manliness over here. If you're just in awe of my presence, and just let me know. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing, maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Ooh, hello. Sorry. I was just... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? Let me be the hero of this situation once again. I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, and then hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so I instead use my right hand to hold the book. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. Wait, does Yuri... Oh, one of those is my hand. I was like, does Yuri have 3 hands? But no, okay, so this is my hand, and these are her hands. Got it. I do the same thing with my right arm on the side of the book. That way I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again. Our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a little longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Intimate. Hey, Yuri. This might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. You think so? How does she? Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second-guesses all of the things that she says and does. Like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see into your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms. I see. Yuri remains silent for a moment. But Caesar, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. Ooh, that's so embarrassing that you think that. Wait, I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I didn't know you were still self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I more meant that it's kinda cute. Again, I'm not sure cute would be the right word. What are you saying all of a sudden? He gave you a compliment? Okay, everyone. I think it's about time we share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought. Is that alright, Yuri? You look kind of down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's not... It's fine. Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Alright, I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I read it only with you? I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way. In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time. Alright. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? Yeah. My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration, since I've never really done this before. The inspiration was to impress the hell out of Yuri, if I recall. Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? I can't wait! Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. Who should I show my poem to first? I get to pick. Let's see. So I think best way would be to show it to somebody who I don't really care about. So that would be either Sayori or Natsuki, because it seems like the game wants you to somehow win Monica in the end, talking about, oh, she's the class star and she's out of my league, that kind of stuff. Yuri is the one that we wrote the poem for, so we're going to start with someone we don't care that much about. So let's do Natsuki first. I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first. Caesar, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. Ooh. What? Harsh. What, you expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? I'll have you know, I clicked on 20 words for this poem. Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about? Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I'd tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid. Oh, you actually get to see the poem, okay. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb. Crickets can leap. Horses can race. Owls can seek. Cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly. People can try. But that's about it. Okay. Yeah. I told you that you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff, so people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard, like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening, so I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. Don't flatter yourself there, hon. I'm glad you learned something. Did I learn something? Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I think you've been humoring her the whole time, man. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Okay. So now, I guess we'll show it to Monica? Hi, Caesar. Having a good time so far? Ah, yeah. Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like running activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Here, let me just stretch my back real quick in anticipation for reading your poem. Don't worry, Caesar. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. Great job, Caesar. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. Oh man. We are just a fantastic example for the world, aren't we? Keep everybody's expectations low, so that when you put in a minimum amount of effort, everybody thinks you did amazing. Haha, that's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Excuse me. Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness, Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that effectively, both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all of the nuances. It can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked though. I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet. Don't worry so much about that, you do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Monica! Monica is a chatterbox! Everyone else might be a little biased towards their own kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. What a story, Monica. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in wall. It couldn't have been me, the direction the spackle protrudes. A noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend. I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No! I can't see. I reel, blind, like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retinas. Already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep. Stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. And he, on the other side, was looking in. Wow. So, I'm not really good at analyzing poetry, but I'm gonna assume this has something to do with, like... Whoa. Computer almost fell over. Sorry for the interruption, guys. I was saying this has something to do with, like, being trapped in a cage, I think. And you get a glimpse of what things outside of the cage look like. I don't know, that's the best guess that I got. So, what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. Haha, it's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular these days. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Alright, so now I think number 3 should be Yuri. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. We got her. Huh? What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. Ooh, he's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. Huh? That's... I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates that you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Well, I mean, I don't want to brag, but when it comes to writing poetry specifically for trying to impress girls, turns out I'm not that bad at it. All you have to do is put down 20 words on a piece of paper, and that's all you really gotta do. Anyway, wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I see in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter and they form-fit the two together. The end result is that the style and expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different writing styles and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her. Wasn't she reluctant to share her poem earlier? Maybe it's because it's with me. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? So let's see what we got here. Ghost Under the Light. And we got the orchestral music going on in the background to let you know it's a fancy poem. Alright, my throat and sinuses still hurt, but I'm going to try to make this sound elegant. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the ember glow. Bathing, it must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. Alright, so this seems to be about nostalgia. About, longing for your past and not wanting to move forward. I'm sorry, I have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. That's because I made it fancy. Ah, well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Huh? That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short? I usually write longer poems. No, not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest, since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Hoo-hoo. Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Caesar. Oh, is that what I was implying? Really? I must have totally missed the point. No, the character totally missed the point. I think I got the point right. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost. I didn't even see that. I mean, the flickering? Is that the part? I don't know. Lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past! I called it! And soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. What? I certainly did. Okay, a version of me in the game, you might be an idiot, but I got it. I got it right. That's impressive. Eh? It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive too, so... Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Caesar. Me too. And last but not least, we've got Sayori, the childhood friend that we are kind of a dick to. This is a good poem, Caesar. Are you sure it's your first time? Of course. It's not that good. Am I the kind of guy that would be writing poems in his spare time? I guess you're right. But that's why it impressed me. Well, to be honest, I was afraid that you wouldn't do it seriously, or that you wouldn't write one at all. I'm really just happy you wrote one. It just reminds me of how you're really a part of the club now. Not to mention the fact that I'm standing in front of you in the club room. Why are we such a jerk to Sayori? Is it because she's silly and we don't like silly people? Well, of course. I'm not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise. See? It's like I said before, Caesar. Deep down, you're not selfish at all, you know? Well, that was a backhanded compliment. Maybe this is why we hate Sayori. Trying new things like this for other people? That's something only really good people do. Thanks, Sayori. I'm not sure if Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here, namely, very cute girls. Then again, I can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined, knowing how much this means to her and all. Yeah. And I'm gonna make sure you have lots of fun here, okay? I'm sure you will, Sayori. That will be my way of thanking you. Alright, I'm gonna hold you to that then. Yay! Now you'll read my poem too, right? Don't worry, I'm really bad at this. We'll see about that. Dear Sunshine. The way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you missed me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above. The sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever. But I'm not mad. I want breakfast. Alright, so it's a poem about waking up. Sayori, this is just a guess, but did you wait until this morning to write this? Fair guess. No. Just a little bit. You can't answer just a little bit to a yes or no question. I forgot to do it last night. Well, at least that makes me feel a little better about myself. Don't be mean. I still tried my best. How was that mean? Yeah. I didn't mean to say it was a bad poem. It came out nice, or how should I put it? It sounds just like you. Really? Yeah. Especially that last line. I made eggs and toast! Even though you were late to school? It's bad to skip breakfast. I get all cranky. Well, I guess there's no point in arguing. Anyway, thanks for showing me. This was so much fun. Monica's the best. Yeah. But next time I won't forget, and I'm gonna write the best poem ever. Well, I guess I look forward to it. Phew. I guess that's everyone. I glance around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club, after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Sayori and Monica are happily chatting. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper looking for their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Huh? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Ah, thanks. Yours is... cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant... the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. I thought it was pretty nice. I mean, she was saying that she... I don't know. I mean, it sounded nice until she said, I was trying to think of something nice. That's what made it like, oh, well, okay. Well, I do have a couple of suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, then I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it, and Caesar did too. Oh no. Am I getting dragged into an argument? So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me, I appreciate the offer, but I spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. And Caesar liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. And the music stopped. Uh-oh. Think things are about to get real. Oh? I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. Eh? That's not what I... Ooh. You're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Caesar appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. Huh, and how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? Uh-huh, classic dating sim moment. The girls are arguing about me because I'm so freaking amazing. No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Ooh. Is everyone okay? Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Caesar started showing up. Oh no! Oh no, that is... no. Oh no. No. Natsuki! Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you! I don't like fighting, guys. Suddenly both girls turned towards me, as if they just noticed I was standing there. Caesar, she's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. If she could get over herself and learn to appreciate that simple writing is more effective, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. What's the point in making your poems all convoluted for no reason? The meaning should jump out at the reader, not force them to figure it out. Help me explain that to her, Caesar. Wait, there's a reason we have so many deep and expressive words in our own language. It's the only way to convey complex feelings and meanings the most effectively. Avoiding them is not only unnecessarily limiting yourself, it's also a waste. You understand that, right, Caesar? Well? Okay, so, in a realistic scenario, I would say, first of all, I'd say, ladies, keep me out of your argument, okay? But, and second of all, I would say, you know what? Both forms are great. I've read both, I like both. I think it's a little childish that you guys are so passionately arguing about this right now. Again, like, the social maturity of somebody who's not even a preteen yet seems to be present in not just these girls, but most, like, dating sim girls. And that's, you know, it's a theme. So if this is supposed to be a horror game disguised as a dating sim, then the disguise is actually really good. Like, if nobody told me that this had horror elements to it, I would think that I'm just straight up playing a dating sim right now. Anyway. How did I get dragged into this in the first place? It's not like I know anything about writing, but whomever I agree with, they'll probably think more highly of me. Yes. Let me make the sociopathic choice here. Let me use my sociopath logic and completely just dismiss these girls, you know, as people with full personalities and, you know, feelings. And let me just pick whoever my favorite is. So of course it's gonna be Natsuki, Yuri, help me Sayori. Help me Sayori? I guess this is if, you know, we're going after Sayori. Well, we're going the Yuri route, so let's pick Yuri. Natsuki, you're right that I liked your poem. See? Wait. That's not an excuse for you to be so mean. You shouldn't pick a fight just because someone's opinion is different. That's not what happened at all. Yuri wouldn't even take my poem seriously. I mean, she gave you... Well, Yuri explained. She tried to say something nice about it because she didn't want to be mean. I understand. Yuri. Eh? You're a seriously talented writer, but it's no secret that I was impressed. Well, but here's the thing. No matter how simple or refined someone's writing style is, they're still putting feelings into it, and it becomes something really personal. Yes. The BS guru that is the player, just throwing out all of the preteen social wisdom. That's why Natsuki felt threatened when you said her poem was cute. I see. I didn't notice. I'm sorry. Ooh. But Natsuki, you took it way too far. That is true. Like, that boobs comment, like, wow. Yuri means well, and if you just told her how you felt, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. Are you kidding? That's exactly what I did. No, that's not what you did, Natsuki. It was her that... Natsuki, I think that's enough. You both said some things that you didn't mean. Yuri apologized, so don't you think you should too? Natsuki clenches her fists. In the end, nobody has taken her side. She's trapped, at this point being defiant only because she can't handle the pressure. I end up even feeling bad for her. Sometimes when I'm hurt, it helps to take a walk and clear my head. Sayori, she doesn't need to. You know what? I'm gonna do that. It'll spare me from having to look at all your faces right now. Without warning, Natsuki snatches her own poem from the desk and storms out. On her way out, she crumples up the poem with her hands and throws it in the trash. Aww. I didn't want her to feel bad about her poem. I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to get with Yuri, you know? Natsuki! She really didn't need to do that. I look across the room. Yuri has her chin buried in her hands while she stares down at her desk. I gingerly approach her and sit in an adjacent chair. Everything alright? I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe I acted like that. You probably hate me now. Yuri. Yuri, we gotta work on you. No, Yuri. How could anyone have gotten... not have gotten frustrated after being treated like that? Well, that's actually pretty true. Like, Natsuki was... Well, I was gonna say Natsuki was being a brat, but really both of them were being brats. You handled it as well as anyone could. I don't think any less of you. Well, alright, I believe you. Thanks, Caesar, you're too kind. I'm thankful to have you a part of this club now. It's nothing. One more thing. That one thing Natsuki said about, you know. What? About you stuffing your bra? Is that what you're talking about, Yuri? I would never do anything so shameful. Well, it doesn't look like you really need to, girl. Just saying. I think yours are the largest in the literature club. So, huh? What thing did Natsuki say? You know exactly what Natsuki said, boy. You just want to hear her say it. Jeez. Well, never mind that. I'm gonna go make some tea. Good idea. Make enough for more than one person, okay? Yeah. Okay, everyone. It's just about time for us to leave. How did you feel about sharing poems? It was a lot of fun. Well, let's say it was worth it. It was alright. Well, mostly. Caesar, how about you? Yeah, I'd say the same. It was a neat thing to talk about with everyone. Awesome. In that case, we'll do the same thing tomorrow. And maybe you learn something from your friends, too, so your poems will turn out even better. I think to myself, I did learn a little more about the kinds of poems everyone likes. With any luck, that means I can at least do a better job impressing those I want to impress. Again, just being a total sociopath here. Yes, it's not about improving myself because I'm already amazing. No, what I care about is impressing one specific girl so that I can score. I nod to myself with newfound determination. Caesar, ready to walk home? Sure, let's go. Hehe. Sayori beams at me. It truly has been a while since Sayori and I have spent this much time together. I can't really say I'm not enjoying it either. Sayori, about what happened earlier. What do you mean? You know, between Yuri and Natsuki. Does that kind of thing happen often? No. That's really the first time I've seen them fight like that. I promise they're both wonderful people. You don't hate them, do you? No, I don't hate them. I just wanted your opinion, that's all. I can see why they make good friends with you. Phew. You know, Caesar, it's nice that I get to spend time with you in the club. But I think seeing you get along with everyone is what makes me the happiest. And I think everyone else really likes you too. That's... Every day is going to be so much fun. It looks like Sayori still hasn't caught on to the kind of situation I'm in. What kind of situation are you in? Sure, being friends with everyone is nice, but... does it really need to stop there? Typical teenage boy, am I right? We'll just have to see what the future holds, Sayori. I pat Sayori on the shoulder. I said that more to myself than to her, but it's easy to use Sayori as an internal monologue sometimes. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, guys, so... I'm thinking that we're gonna save here. Yeah, I'll just save here, and I'm thinking that we're gonna end. So, that's gonna do it for this episode. We will pick up right where we left off in the next video. I hope that you have enjoyed this first episode of Doki Doki Literature Club. We haven't seen any horror yet, although there's definitely some foreshadowing, so maybe we'll see the horror elements starting in the next episode. I'm not sure. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Until next time, I am Caesar Madrazo, and I am out!